So there have been times where, yes, I lost 300,000, but I knew that the trade was worth it because had it gone in the correct way, I would have made 900,000. So there have been a couple times where it was like, well,
how do you react to that?
Now I don't react at all.
Oh,
it's just is what it is.
Okay.
I did my work up front. I calculated this is the right stock. I looked ahead of time. I calculated the reward to risk ratio. I know that I got in at the right time. Like that's like a trading plan is really important for this.
Yeah.
So if I've done all the steps and for whatever reason it goes against me, then that's okay because I know another one will come along and it'll go right.
Amazing, amazing. Okay. So this is so phenomenal. Anybody can learn this?
Yeah. It's really not hard, but you need someone who's already good at it and who knows what they're doing. What I see right now is a lot of people jumping into the market and they don't really know what they're doing. And they just assume that, okay, because I can open my Robinhood account, I'm gonna just jump in, or my friend told me to do this. But no, there's a system to this. Like we have risk management in place. We have like charts, like it's formulas. Like when you learn the formula, then it's something that can click easy.
The biggest mistake new investors make when they go in? I think I know it, but I want you to tell me.
I think two things. One, picking the wrong stock.
Okay.
Like that's just, sometimes we're loyal to stocks for no reason. Those companies aren't loyal to you, so stop. Also with risk management, not having an exit strategy, not having stops in place. So there's a way to protect yourself from losing. It's called a stop loss.
Yep.
And you can put that in so that if the stock goes down or against you, it'll take you out the trade.
Yeah.
But people don't put it in. They get nervous, like, well, it's gonna get me out and I'm gonna lose money. That's the point. It's supposed to get you out
so you
to
can
protect
control.
you.
But the reason you don't put the stop loss is because sometimes it'll go down and then shoot back up. But if you don't let it go down far enough, then you really can't capitalize.
Yes, but the problem with that is that just means you did your math wrong on the front end. So if you get better and better at putting the stops at the right place, then you don't have to worry about that. Yep, it's one of those things like, so if every time you go outside, you usually slip and fall, and then you say the next day, well, I don't want to put a mat out there because I might not slip that day. Like, no, like you need to protect yourself.
Listen, a stop loss is important. When I started trading Forex, I had that same thought. Like when I learned what a stop was to do and I experienced miscalculating where to put a stop loss and it hit that stop loss, took me out of the trade. I lost, it minimized my loss, right, to what I was comfortable with. So you get to decide up front how much you're willing to lose. Well, then I started to see other investors not use a stop loss and they, but they also are dealing with a larger entry amount than I was. They have more money. Right. And so it would go down and shoot back up and they're winning. So I stopped using a stop loss, right? And in the beginning when I was trading, I was scalping the market. Okay. So I was sitting at the computer, meaning I'm going to jump in and I might jump out in 5 minutes or 15 minutes or 30, but I'm watching it because I just want to make $1,000. So as soon as I hit $1,000, I'm out, right? Because you got to set a goal, right? And I think that's the number one. People don't have a goal and they get the 1,000 and they're like, I'm going for 2, I'm going for 3, and you get greedy. Anyway, so this one day I don't have a stop loss set and I'm moving and I'm trading. I decide to get up and go take a shower. Came back to the computer. Came back to the computer and it was a $6,000 shower. I was ready to quit. I'm done with this. I am out of the markets. I am never trading again. And then my mentor at that time, my trading mentor said, nope, you got to jump right back in there. But now you have to be smart. now are you ready to learn?
Right.
Yeah.
It's that one time where it goes wrong and you're like,
I was sick.
I should have had.
You're sitting over here talking about losing $300,000 in a day. And I would have been, I don't know what I would have been ready to do.
Where was your stop loss at?
I didn't have one. So there are times where I don't do it right either. And I think that's why I'm such a good teacher, because I've made every mistake. I've had
She said, where was your stop loss?
Right. My risk management plan wasn't there either that day. And it was just kind of like, I know this is going to go right. I know this is going to work. I sure did.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Like at that time, I had been making 6-figure days. This was actually 2020. So I had
Six-figure
just
days.
But then then you got emotional.
Right?
You started emotional trading.
Exactly. And you can't have emotions. It has to be disciplined and stick to your
And
plan.
data.
But sometimes we get a little arrogant, like, oh, I got this. I know this stock gonna go here. I don't even gotta look at the chart today.
Yeah.
That's when it messes up. You gotta stick to the plan.
I love
But
it.
the important thing is to keep going.
Yes.
Even if you lose.
So, like, my very first huge loss was in Thailand. At that same time when I was doing the class, they had this, like, festival, and we, like, lit lanterns. It was beautiful. But right after that, I came, because the market's open at night in Thailand.
Okay.
So I went to, like, a random seat. I was outside. Everybody else was doing their thing, but I was like, I got to go to work. So I opened my phone up, and I went to work. But I looked and I had lost like $20,000, and by the time it was over, I lost $26,000. And this was back when I was just coming out of education, so I didn't have $26,000 to lose. I remember I had put like $30,000 to pay for classes on my credit card, and like this was like all my savings. And I remember calling my mom bawling, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. I'm quitting right now. Like, I can't do this anymore. And her response was, but baby, if you quit right now, how are you going to get your money back?
Ooh.
Come on, mama.
Yes, mom with the word.
With the wisdom. I did not think she was going to say that. I thought she was going to be like, see, I told you. That's why you didn't need to be over there anyway. But no, she was like, how are you going to get your money back? And so I'm glad your mentor told you the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, stick with it. Because those losses, you learn so much from the losses. And then you know what to do better the next time.
Yeah.
And it hurts. And sometimes it can, like, trading is emotional, because it can start to feel like you're a bad person. Like, I can't believe I did this. I know that I shouldn't have done, you know?
Yeah.
But you got to take all that aside and just say, hey, it's a numbers game.
What do you say to the person who doesn't participate in trading or in the stock market, period, because they feel like it's equivalent to gambling?
So it's not a gamble if you know how to calculate your reward to risk ratio and do the risk management ahead of time. So when I take a trade, I know that there is a 75% chance that this is going to be a profitable trade. So when I'm able to calculate like that, it's no longer a gamble.
Okay.
It's a gamble when people are just jumping in with no kind of, like, no education, no kind of formulas, nothing. Then they're just kind of betting and seeing where the wind falls.
Is that what you do with your group? Like, you tell them what you're going to be trading, or?
No, I'm not. So they call that like a copy trader. So I don't tell them what to trade. I tell them how to trade. So I actually teach them, okay, this is how you read the charts, know where to get in and where to get out. This is how you put in your reward to risk ratio. This is how you put in, like, your quantity size. How do you calculate that? Because when I lost in Thailand, I had 8,000 shares. So even if it went down $1, I already was down 8,000. And it went down several dollars. So I was completely out, but it was because my quantity size was wrong.
Gotcha.
So I teach them how to do all those things in my trading plan, because I have like 7 steps that I do every time. And then they're able to follow that plan. Actually, in your book, you had a sentence that said, real success is when you're able to teach someone your strategy, and then they can actually be successful from it. And so I think that's what's happening with my students. Like, I teach them my trading plan, and then they can tell me what stocks to look at.
Wow. Let me ask you, just as the person, because you seem like this indestructible woman, you got it figured out. What are some of your major fears? What are you afraid of?
Fears. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, like, I think it was Paul who said it. He said, I would hate to go to heaven and then be ineffective and inefficient. And I have to find the scripture for you, but I think that's one of my biggest fears. God gave me such a gift. And if I go to heaven and he's like, Teri, I gave you this gift, but you were ineffective with it, or you were inefficient with it. Like, I want to make sure when I get to heaven, he does say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Like, you did that. I gave you a few things and you made it many. Like, that's my goal. But the fear would be on the flip side, to not maximize it to the fullest.
Yeah, I love it. And I think what shapes us all, who we are today, has a lot to do with, like you said, like your story. What are like some impactful lessons that you learned that created this amazing woman that you are today, would you say?
I think one lesson is from my grandmother. So when I was working at the school, she used to tell me every day, and I'm not even a cusser, but I'm gonna say this because Miss My Granny said it.
Leave it out. Leave it out.
So
It's okay.
she was like,
You don't have to use it.
You better tell them. No, what did she say? You better go in there and tell them to kiss your bleep. And she was like, don't ever let anybody let you feel like you're less than what you are. And I think just my grandmother, like I was raised by a single mom and my grandmother, so 3 generations in the household. And my mom was always the like cautious, more fearful one, like you can't quit your job, you gotta have insurance. And my grandmother,
based on what she told you, like before, that's why it shocked you. Like,
right.
Yeah.
I think that was a God thing. I think the Lord told her to tell me that because she would not normally be the one. She would have been the one like, well, come home right now.
Right.
Well, you know you can get another job. You haven't been gone too long. Maybe they'll let you come back. Like that's usually like where like her MO. But in that moment, that wasn't it.
she don't even talk
So
like that.
she was just like, you got, how you gonna get it back? That was a God thing. But my grandmother, maybe she was embodying my granny. Because my granny is like, you God's child. You can do anything.
Yeah.
Girl, you better go.
Yeah.
Tell them kiss your, like, just walk out. She's like, walk out today. So I think that's a piece of me now that's like, you know what? Like, at the end of the day, God's got this. This is his plan. You are his child. So there's nothing to be afraid of. Even if I get on a plane, like I usually get afraid, like that the plane's gonna crash. And she's like, and if I were to embody her, it'd be like, girl, this plane ain't gonna crash. God got a bigger plan for you. He got stuff for you to do next year. So you gonna be fine.
Yeah.
So I think that's where like, I think I have like a humble confidence, but that's where it comes from.
It's so important to speak life into yourself and speak life into your children.
Yeah.
Because we think they're not listening, but like you said, like this was, years ago. You just remember your grandma growing up being this voice, and we always have to have these voices in our head. You know what I mean? Like, so I had a conversation with Donnie, and we both came to the realization that I'm not a businessman. But the cool thing is, because I just want to do cool stuff. I just want to do cool stuff and have somebody that really knows like business like that.
He's
do
a
the business
visionary.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a visionary.
But the conversation that we had, it really stuck with me, allowing me to at least understand where I am and say, yo, I need to get smart. I need to just step by step, piece by piece, what am I going to do? So I think that's important, having that circle of people and voices in your head.
But you have a vision mindset. I mean, a business mindset. It seems like you're always thinking through like the numbers and like how to make money off of something.
I do.